Hello everybody, I'm Marge from Mindsketch Lab and welcome to my desk. Um, so I'm here to show you something that I find to be of great benefit. One of the neatest things about my morning routine is it doesn't take very long. And I'm like you, I do not want to spend hours just working on keeping my head right so I can be productive and during the day. So I have found this way that I can reduce to just minutes in the morning. See, back in the day when I first started doing The Artist Way by Julia Cameron, it's about 30 years ago, I used to write 3 long hand pages every morning in a spiral bound notebook. But it took a while, and back then I had to be at work at like 6 in the morning to a job I didn't like. So I was having to get up at like 4:30. But I did this day after day, week after week for years. And, over the 30 years, that kind of practice ebbed and flowed. And there would be times where I wouldn't do it at all. And a strange thing happened to me in April. I was invited to this online vibe and chill thing, and I was introduced to Neurographic Art, which is simply drawing lines, so it seems, but it's really a technique that's based on science that rewires my brain. What do I mean by that? I get up in the morning, I read the news, and I'm like, oh no, inflation's rising, this country's starving their people, I have to do this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm crazy, and I want to get rid of that ugly feeling. So I've combined a little bit of writing, a little bit of drawing, and I call it art journaling. And what I'm simply doing these days, it's been working for me like a charm for like 4 months now, is I just have this little sketch pad. I also hand paint backgrounds and do my art journaling on these. I have bunches of them. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But for this demonstration, I'll show you in case you just have a piece of paper. So maybe I'll write down on this blank piece of paper, today I intend to let go of my fears, doubts, and insecurities. I can always pick these up tomorrow. And maybe I'll write what I want. Like maybe I'll say, and I will find 20 minutes of joy this afternoon. And now it's in my mind that I'm going to let go of all the things I mentioned earlier. Can't afford groceries, the electric bill's going up, blah, blah, blah. It's a beautiful day. I want to do this and that. So I'm letting go of that. And it's already in my head. Oh, remember, I'm going to have those moments of joy this afternoon. Then I have just some colored pens, gel pens. And I'm going to start drawing a few curvy lines. And you can start from the top, you can start at the bottom, it doesn't matter. You can go in on the side, and see what I did? You do not have to be an artist to draw a few curvy lines. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to soften the lines where they intersect. I'll do that in a different color so it will be obvious to you. Let me show you where the lines intersect. Can you see those blue lines I just made? The idea behind softening these lines is because they're sharp angles. The analogy is anything sharp can hurt us, and anything smooth won't hurt us. So I'm just going to quickly show you what I do to soften where the lines meet. Can you see that? Again, soft, I think of a squishy ball. I could throw it at me and it wouldn't hurt me. When I think of sharp lines intersecting, I think of blades of a knife and how they can hurt me. I am not a scientist, but I trust, for instance, the late Dr. Jim Doty studied neuroscience and was a neurosurgeon for 50 years. And all these things I have been practicing are based in science. While I'm doing my drawing, I have in mind my intention that I just wrote out. And I'm just going to quietly sit here and kind of focus on what I just wrote. And I do focus on it, and I picture my moments of joy. I kind of know in my head what for me are moments of joy. So I've just softened some few more lines. And what you can also do, I'll show you in some other examples that I have. I wrote an intention here and colored it in. That was fun. And yes, that took me more than 10 minutes. But what I did is I came back to it the next day. A lot of mine aren't finished because, again, I don't have a ton of time every morning to devote to this. And I don't need a ton of time because, for example, this took me maybe 3 minutes one day last week, and it was magic. I think I wrote, "My morning is insane and I'm starting it over." Deep cleansing breaths. And I just carried this into my day with me. Why wouldn't you do this if you're high strung like me? Or, I mean, how can you not be concerned with what's going on in the world today, especially if you're in the USA? Not that other countries aren't having their tragedies too. What I've been doing lately is, I'm an artist by trade, so I love going into my studio and just throwing some paint on some paper. And I said, how fun will that be to write your intention first and then draw your lines? And because I'm so practical, I paint both sides of the paper. These actually, I paint like I guess it's 8.5 by 11. And I cut them in 4s because then it's smaller, and sometimes I can have the luxury of finishing them in a given period of time. This is just helping me so much to stay on an even keel, which I know my friends and I are having a tough time staying on an even keel these days. This is why I started Mindsketch Lab. I'm not alone. I thought I was alone in my head all day. You know, things are a little bit, never got really back on track after the pandemic, and I was very confused by it because I personally have been in recovery for almost 40 years, and I had my messy mind in a good place for probably 30 of those years. And then suddenly, these past few years, it's been getting all jammed up again, and my regular practices weren't really helping me. What I'm showing you today has really, really helped me, and I hope you'll try it. All you need is a little sketch pad, some scrap paper with or without paint, and some colored pens. If you want some company, doesn't misery really love company? I mean, you don't have to go it alone. I am the original Lone Ranger. I don't need your help. Thank you very much. I have found that just being in a room of like-minded people, it's a balm, it's a medicine, it's just awesome. Go over to mindsketchlab.com and consider joining our membership. It's only $9 a month, where we regularly meet and talk, laugh, cry, draw, write, just be together. Hope to see you again. Hope I helped you. Bye.